Hello class, this is Demetrius Wilson, BA 121. We are now on chapter 13, only two more chapters to go after this. Follow up, the power of providing service that sells. And follow up is key, is very important in terms of securing a sale and also in terms of follow up sales or additional sales for ancillary products. In the video ride along, the video follow up features Rachel Gordon, account manager at WMGK Radio. She discusses the importance of handwritten thank you notes and other elements that are important to making the sale repeatedly. And you want to make continuous sales, and you also want to sell additional products. The questions for the video ride along that you need to ask yourself list a few ways you can give a personal touch to your follow-up, such as like a handwritten note as opposed to one that's typed, and analyze the role of following up in relationship selling. And we know how important relationships are in terms of selling either goods and or services. Our chapter objectives for chapter 13 are understand what follow-up entails and why it's so important, discuss the ongoing nature of follow-up, understand how customer satisfaction relates to customer loyalty, learn how to follow up after accepting a job offer, and understand how to adapt to your new job. As always, the last bullet point refers to the last section in the PowerPoint, which talks about interviewing for securing a job and what to do after you actually have it. So what is follow-up? Follow-up entails everything that takes place after the sale is closed, from getting signatures on all contracts and paperwork to scheduling delivery. Right? So you have to know and understand, say, deal is closed, we agree on it, then everything else, getting signatures, crossing the T's and dotting the I's, those are the things that pertain to follow-up. Relationship is a key factor in follow-up, and they want to feel like that you're that you're looking out for them and looking out for their best interests. So relationship is and having a good relationship is definitely a key. Follow-up activities vary from company to company and customer to customer. So some companies may need and require a lot of touches. You have to touch them every day, call them, make sure everything's going good. Some companies just like, hey, leave me alone. I'm good with using the internet service or logging onto my account and kind of doing it myself. Areas that require follow-up, sign contracts, schedule delivery, schedule and conduct training. So pause the video, read through these on your own, but those are things that require actual follow-up. And think about your own profession and whether you've been in sales or not, what requires follow-up. So why follow-up? Follow-up makes the relationship grow and prosper, and we want the relationship to grow and prosper because it's the right thing to do, but also so that we can secure more sales. Follow-up is how most customers evaluate the performance of the product or service they just bought, such as me sending you a Net Promoter Survey. The best way to make the sale is by the way you handle things after the sale. So how do you handle the customer service? You just say, oh, I already got your money, too bad. Or you say, hey, let me help you through this problem. Even after the sale is closed, never consider it as closed. If you never consider it as closed, they will bring you more sales. So plan your follow-up. Yeah, just like I always say, proper planning prevents poor performance. Demonstrate your personal commitment and connection to the customer. Deliver as promised. You have to under-promise and over-deliver. Add value to your customer's business. So if you're doing something that's tangible that they can see that's good for them. Get feedback. So you want to get feedback from your customers. And or clients, and make your customers into fans. If you make someone into fan, then they'll be your biggest cheerleader. They'll be over there, making sales for you that you don't even know about. A follow-up letter, the video, technical writing skills, how to write a sales follow-up letter, provides some of the great tips on how to write a sales follow-up letter, right? So definitely check that video out, learn from it, understand it, and say, okay, what can I do to the follow-up letters or emails that I'm sending out to further enhance them? And I have done the same. Heroic recovery, right? So that's, a hero comes, he saves the day, or he or she, is a response to a service failure that delights the customer, right? So the air conditioner in my hotel room was broke. They came down, they said, we're going to move you up to the penthouse, right? That's a heroic recovery. Won't I have great things to say about that company now? You bet I will. It can improve a customer's perception of the quality of service provided by a salesperson, right? They'll love you. It partially includes taking care of the customer, whatever it takes to make impact of the service failure right for the customer, right? So Let's say we cost you $20,000 in fines. We probably need to give you at least 25 to 35,000 to make up for it. Companies and salespeople should view heroic recovery efforts as an investment in customer service perceptions and not as a cost. So you don't want to look at it as a cost because it'll be even bigger cost if that company picks up its stakes and says we're leaving and we don't want to do business with you anymore. So it's not an investment. I mean it's not like a task or a cost. It's actually an investment in your company. Although a constant state of heroic recovery is unacceptable to a customer, so you can't wine and dine them every time after a mistake happens. A mistake happens like at least once or twice a day. Follow-up feedback and fans, and we talked about making someone a fan. Make someone a fan. Make them a promoter. Companies focusing on on creating customer service, customer loyalty, invest in developing an effective customer feedback loop. So we want to hear back from the clients. We want to hear back from the other associates within the company. A customer feedback loop, a formal process of gathering, synthesizing. So you gather information, then you synthesize it, and acting on customer feedback. And then you receive the feedback, obviously, from people. Typically, in this type of scholastic environment, when you see the feedback, it's anonymous. A lot of times at companies, it's anonymous as well. We don't really know who sent the feedback, which a lot of times can be good because sometimes managers can retaliate. The most successful customer feedback loops are simple. Focus on understanding what is important to customers and empower frontline employees. Frontline employees are employees who interact with customers on a day-to-day basis, such as salespeople, right? So we're on the front lines, we're selling things to people, even customer service on the front line. They're trying to keep the sales there because they're trying to service the client. Types and disadvantages of customer feedback loops. So these are different types. So you have mystery shopper programs, right? So nobody knows they're there. Customer satisfaction surveys. So just like I said earlier, a couple of slides earlier, you're receiving a survey and completing that information, and other measurement tools. Disadvantages: it is expensive, require elaborate reporting, and takes a long time to compile and act on the data. And that is definitely a disadvantage when a company is not nimble enough to move, especially if it's in the right direction. Southwest gets it. The video Southwest Airlines flight attendant showcases how an ordinary activity can create an extraordinary customer experience. And they've changed their business model to kind of suit people who really feel good about the perks that they're giving, such as that you don't have to pay for luggage. Zappos gets this. Zappos definitely gets this. I use a lot of their videos from their company and how upbeat they are and what they bring all into the employees in terms of food and everything. And Zappos is a place where people go out to see what makes your organization tick. And it's not as easy as just you telling me and then I go do it and apply it. It's they can tell you the formula, but a lot of it's hard work, a lot of it's creativity that goes into it. So the video Zappos CEO speaks at a Net Promoter conference, and he discusses why Zappos is a fan favorite, right? Why do people love them so much? Why are they sending these great reviews? So make sure that you watch that video. One simple question. So Net Promoter Score, or NPS, is the ideal customer feedback tool because it is simple. Remember, it is simple. Keeps the customer at the forefront, allows frontline employees to act, thereby closing the customer feedback loop. All right. NPS is based on asking customers the ultimate question: how likely are you to recommend this product or company to a colleague or friend? Right. So how likely are you to say, hey, this business treated me so well, I think you should go with them, or they completed this service for me, I'm going to give you referrals to everywhere I can. The response to the NPS is based on a 10-point scale and categorizes the response as follows. So a promoter is customers who answer with 9 or 10. Right? We're going to tell everybody, hey, we need to keep this. This is great. Passive are customers who answer with a 7 or 8. Right? So they're just like, hey, whatever. If you change, you change. If you don't change, then I'll still be here. And detractors, we don't want any of those. They're customers who answer with a 0 to a 6, right? They're detractors. We're going to talk bad about you, and we're going to give you not a great score on the survey as well. So here's how the Net Promoter Score is calculated. So if you don't understand it, press pause right here. Look through it. It is very simple. So you have promoters, right, minus detractors equals your net promoter score, right? So promoters, people who promoting your company, detractors, people who are pulling away and saying your company is not good. That, the difference between those two equals your net promoter score. NPS lets frontline managers and employees identify where the problems exist, and that's the most important thing. You want to figure out, where's the problem, how do I attack it and address it. Companies that use Net Promoter Score are like American Express, Southwest Airlines, FedEx, eBay, companies of that nature. And though a simple concept, NPS requires a complete operational commitment on the part of every level of management of the company to make it work effectively. So what that means is we can't have two managers over here going rogue because they don't really like this program. We need to get everybody in alignment. So how does Net Promoter Score work? So the video features Fred Reichard. Fred talks about the ultimate question and how Net Promoter can be used across various sectors. He shares his thoughts on how companies leverage word of mouth, right, and that's still moving the fastest, and I'll explain to you why, and social networks and online communities to delight of their customers. So, for instance, if you went to a restaurant and the food was terrible, you'll tell everybody. You tell like 80%, 85% of your friends. But if you went to a restaurant and the food was good, you might tell one or two people, but you're not going to tell everybody. Now to selling you. How do you sell yourself? So what happens after you accept the offer? So what do I do now? So from classroom to the corporate world. The classroom is very different from the corporate world. There are no tests. You are tested every day. And when I read that, I just laughed and chuckled to myself. You are definitely tested every day. There are no report cards or grades. You just get a performance review. And your performance review is tied to certain things like possible bonuses and raises and things like that. So you want to make sure that you do get a good performance review. Before you start your new job, say thank you. Be sure to say thank you. Continue to do your research on the company. Dress for success and plan your route. And walk in with a smile, right? So you follow those things, you have a job, you go in, I know that you'd have super energy and just go in and wow them. After you start your new job, listen, observe, and ask questions, right? So you want to listen more than you talk. Observe, look through the land and see what's going on here. Who's my ally? Who's an enemy? And not an enemy in a sort, but maybe somebody that's not a promoter for you. And ask questions. You can never ask too many questions, right? Ask questions, and you'll be good. Avoid also gossip, right? So you definitely want to avoid that. Find a mentor. Great thing is to find an actual mentor that can help you and that can assist you in moving forward in your career. And fine-tune your writing and speaking skills, right? So you think about it, if you go into interview, right, you want to kind of go over your script a little bit in terms of what questions they ask, but then even after that, you want to continue to write and and utilize your speaking skills. Summary. So everybody's favorite slide number 26 of chapter 13. Follow-up is what builds a relationship after a sale. NPS is determined based on a brand's percentage of promoters minus the percentage of detractors. And the corporate world is different from the classroom with a different environment and different expectations. We're not expecting you just to have good grades. We're expecting for you to use your mind and apply that so that you can help and enhance our business. Well, that's it for chapter 13. Be sure to also go on to chapter 14 for this week. And then after that, we're going to have chapters 15 and 16, and then that's it for the semester. So be sure to go through the slides, watch the correct videos, key in on the points that I key on, and want you all to have a good day and a great week.